Is everyone switched on? Ready to go? Okay. As indicated in the written release, police believe the 3 incidents over the past week, the 2 arsons and the shooting last night at Ascot Park, are related. We believe they're not random incidents, but targeted, and that they're the result of a drug debt between people who I describe as organised crime identities, some of whom are associated with the Hells Angels Outlaw Motorcycle Club. As you would know, these groups, serious organised crime groups, including the bikies, have a propensity for violence and crime, and that that's the way they live their lives. They're involved in drug distribution, drug manufacture, and have a total disregard for the safety of innocent people. These incidents, we do not believe, are directly related to the Task Force Alpha investigations and arrests from a week or so ago in relation to the DSO murder. Some of the people involved are linked to the Hells Angels motorcycle clubs and those arrests, as I said. But this is a drug debt matter, not a wider conflict between bikie groups. We've spoken to key individuals on all sides of these disputes. As we would expect, we're not getting much cooperation at the moment, and our inquiries will continue. We are actively investigating these 3 offences. We're executing search warrants, searching properties, and following positive lines of inquiry. We remain flexible and vigilant in our response to these matters. I would like to say that advise that a small white sedan was seen in the street at Ascot Park last night at just after 8 o'clock when the shooting occurred. We do have CCTV of the incident, which we're not releasing at the moment for operational reasons. The vehicle has not yet been recovered. We should point out that, I should also point out that the people in the house last night do not appear to be involved in the criminality or the conflict itself. Our message to the community is we are actively working to arrest those responsible for these offences. Our Crime Gangs Task Force have considerable expertise in these types of investigations, and those involved should be very worried indeed. Our message to those engaged in this violence is that we'll be relentless in our pursuit of getting justice in relation to these offences. We'll be doing everything we can, as I say, to arrest these offenders and make the community safe. Any information from the public would be appreciated, and members of the public can advise us via Crime Stoppers, and it's important to remember that information can be given anonymously. So if you have any questions?
Isn't directly related to the DSO murder.
Yes.
But could potentially the drug debt involve some of those people arrested over the DSO murder?
Yes, that's correct. We don't believe it relates to the murder investigation directly, but we believe there is a drug debt involved, and that there's an ongoing dispute which actually predates the arrest for the DSO matter, and that individuals involved in that have a propensity for violence, and that's where we've seen these 2 arsons and the shooting last night.
How far back do you think this drug debt goes?
At least 3 or 4 months.
So the people in the house, if they weren't targeted themselves or they're not involved in any form of criminality, how does the house relate to the drug debt? Was it someone, were they new owners of the house or new renters? How does it work?
We understand the links, which we're not prepared to go into at the moment.
You said that the Hells Angels are involved. Is there another link to another bikie club or anything, or is it the Hells Angels and a potential client or something like that?
We believe it's Hells Angels people and associates of the Hells Angels associated with other organised criminals, but there's no indication that there's another outlaw motorcycle gang involved.
Can you tell us who owes money to who?
Well, we're piecing together those bits of information, but pretty strong intelligence is that these incidents and series of incidents are the result of a drug debt.
The people at the house, is it that they're not involved, or is that a mistaken identity? These are completely innocent people?
No, it's the correct house, but the 2 people in the house last night are not involved.
Not involved in any
No.
any criminal
No.
association,
No.
any bikies related
No.
To somebody who might be involved?
So I really can't go on, can't go any further about how that house relates to the investigation, but I just wanted to point out that the two people there last night, we don't believe are involved in the criminality and the dispute between the groups.
So the house does, but the people don't?
Yes,
Are
correct.
they the only two people that live there?
They were the only two people that were there last night,
That's
yes.
sure. But does anyone else live in that house?
Not sure, actually.
Just how long have they been living there?
No, I don't know that.
Just going back to, sorry, what I was asking before,
Sure.
I actually meant, do you think that it was the Hells Angels or members of the Hells Angels Bikie Club that were, you know, manufacturing and selling the drugs and somebody hasn't given them the money, or is it, you know, they were buying it off someone and, you know, which way, do you know? which
We
way?
believe there's a substantial drug debt involved, involving these
It's owed to
people.
the Hells Angels?
It's difficult to say, and allegiances in these criminal networks change rapidly, and people who are associates and friendly at a particular point in time quite often changes, and they're not. So we're piecing all that together.
Are you
Appreciate
concerned
you
that
just-
after the arrest of those men for murder and 2 for assisting
Yes,
an offender, that there have been 3 serious incidents since that arrest in a matter of a week?
yes,
Are you concerned that these are going to escalate? They appear to be. They appear to be going from arson to now shooting.
Well, it appears that there's some sort of payback involved, and it would appear that it's likely that people being incarcerated or arrested in relation to the murders has changed the balance of power amongst some of these groups, and that there's been tit-for-tat retaliations involving these 3 incidents. So
We keep stressing this is over drug debt. How can police be certain it doesn't relate to the arrests? If it's got so many people connected in relation to that matter and this drug debt, how can police be certain it's got nothing to do with the arrests or that cold case investigation?
well, we really can't go into our sources of information, obviously, but we've got a range of information and intelligence which is telling us the rationale for the 2 arsons and the shooting last night is not related to the homicide investigation, but it's related to a separate drug investigation. A separate drug debt that is owed by the parties involved. So it's not related to the murder.
So you can rule that out entirely?
Yes,
So it
yes,
means that these people who are incarcerated owe money and now they can't pay up because they're incarcerated.
possibly.
There's been a lot of talk about bikie gangs not having a public presence now. How busy are they beneath the surface in areas like drugs, you know, like
There's no doubt that some of our bikie gangs are some of our biggest drug dealers. I would point out that we've got a range of legislative options here in terms of disrupting and dismantling outlaw motorcycle gangs that we have applied quite ruthlessly in the past 4 years, and we've been very successful in dismantling, disrupting them, closing down all their clubhouses. So we've been very vigilant in that regard. But that's not to say they're not gone more underground and obviously involved in the illicit drug trade.
Would this house belong or was lived in by one of the members of the...
Sorry?
This house that was shot at, was this a house that was previously occupied by one
No.
of the men?
No, the house is linked to the Milestone Gym.
What are you worried about here? What is your,
Well, obviously we're concerned that firearms are being used, that premises have been torched, and the particular danger is that some innocent member of the public will get caught up in this.
do you
So-
think that this will continue to go on? Like, I mean, do you think they'll stop it?
Well,
Monday?
we're very, very focused on stopping them, on making arrests and making the public safe.
How close are you to an arrest?
We've got a number of active lines of inquiry at the moment that we're following up.
You say the house is related to the Milestone Gym. With the shots being fired at the house, would that appear to be another attack on the people involved with the gym, or would that appear to be more of a payback situation?
It would be related to the arson at the Milestone Gym.
So the same target?
Yes, yes.
As in,
It's the same group of people. The house at Ascot Park, is related to the people involved in the gym at Milestone that was burnt down.
Prior to the operation after arrests last week, were detectives prepared or had anything in place for any kind of vacuum that might have been left by these people being taken off the streets and any kind of upheaval in the organised crime kind of world?
Yes, it was definitely a part of the planning for those operations. Crime Gangs Task Force has been working closely with Major Crime in relation to that, So we knew the arrests were going to occur, and there've been a number of steps taken to make sure that any ripple aftershocks are mitigated.
We had one person one of the arrested persons, the female who was arrested and charged with assisting the offender given bail last week. Is that something that concerned police, or did you have some part in that?
I really can't comment on the DSO murder investigation. That's primarily handled by Major Crime Investigation Branch with members of the Crime Gangs Task Force. So I'm not authorised to speak about that investigation.
When that first fire happened, there was some suggestion that that was related to the murder investigation, even by people who were connected with the house. So you
Yes.
can say categorically that had nothing to do with it.
Well, it was linked. The fire at the food van at Mile End was linked to one of the men that was arrested for the DSO homicide.
Okay, but this has got nothing to do with that, it's more a drug debt.
We believe this is the result of a long-standing drug debt between organised crime identities.
Last question?
This happened about 8 o'clock last night.
Yes.
Why was the public or the media only informed at lunchtime today?
We were conducting a number of inquiries, and it was judged that there was no danger to the public at large as a result of this. So
How close are you in arrest for this shooting?
it's,
Or are you at all?
no, it's really difficult to say at the moment, but I should say that our Crime Gangs Task Force are very skilled at these investigations, and more often than not, they get results.
Are you worried that this could blow up into some sort of bikie war?
Well, it's not really a bikie war. I'd say there are bikies and associates involved in this dispute.
Or it's getting as bad as what a bikie war would, you know?
We're concerned that the implications for someone innocent in particular getting hurt are there. So we're doing everything we can to focus our resources in the right area and make arrests.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.